Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
A fire in Durham. It's out, but what started it? WRAL News is looking into that right now.
And we're tracking the developing winter storm. I'll show you what time it arrives and how much precipitation and what type you may see.
And this storm's arrival could bring power outages and hazardous road conditions. What you need to know to stay safe and warm through this wintry blast. About 24 hours warning from this point forward. So we're just asking you to pay attention and make some smart decisions here. And we are here to help. I'm Jeff Hogan. Good to have you along.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey in for an HU. Yeah, it's an all hands on deck type of day, preparing for what's to come. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner and the WRAL Severe Weather Center kind of timing everything out for us and telling us who's going to see what.
Okay, so you know how winter storms go around here. It's a little bit of everything. Typically, the most snow that we see is in our northern counties. And then it changes in precipitation type all the way down to rain in our southern counties. So we are likely to have some accumulating snow and accumulating ice. Roads will get slick fast tomorrow morning. We may see some power outages in our southeastern counties. Here's a look at the snow forecast. In the top section of our viewing area there, 4 to 6. And then we're looking at anywhere from 4 inches in northern Wake County to less than an inch in southern Wake County. And then just a small amount in the counties just below that. For Wake County, this is going to be the line where it changes over. So Wake Forest could see up to 2 to 4, while Fuquay-Varina sees less than an inch, and around the triangle, maybe 1 to 2 inches. Our best chance of accumulating ice that causes power outages is going to be Smithfield, Goldsboro, Clinton, Fayetteville, Lillington. We could end up with a 1/4 of an inch of ice or so, and that would cause some power outages. We are looking at some snow up to our north and west right now, but today for us stays quiet. This high pressure system keeps things dry for us today. So we go straight to tomorrow morning. If you wake up at 6 or 7 a.m. and you don't see anything happening, don't leave the house, because it is coming. By 9 to 10 o'clock, we begin to see the precipitation moving in, and it stays with us all day long. A little bit of a break potentially in the evening. And then look at this, another round of snow possible for us on Thursday morning. So it's going to be with us for a while. Clear and 33 degrees right now in the triangle areas. It's a cold start this morning. We'll see increasing clouds at the high of 51. We're going to talk a little bit more coming up about what time the roads might turn slick. Ken?
6:02, Elizabeth, happening right now. We're following a crash. It's been reported in the last hour or so. In the eastbound lanes of I-540 near Six Forks Road, we're not seeing any delays in that particular area, but just watch for that activity if you happen to be navigating I-540 this morning. We just have a disabled vehicle right there at Capitol Boulevard and Perry Creek, not causing any problems for you whatsoever, but really and truly, no major incidents to report elsewhere on any of our major routes, all delay-free. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
6:02 here in the WRAL Live Center. Keeping my eye on this situation, this fire that's out at Durham on Liberty Street. It was reported around 2:30-ish this morning, according to investigators. And we actually just got a press release within the past 10 minutes saying that they arrived around 2:30 to find this duplex was on fire on one of the sides, and they managed to put it out without any damage spreading to nearby homes. So that's good. Now, there was one person who was living inside the house when this started, and they were not injured. Actually, no injuries were reported. That person has since been taken to a shelter elsewhere. But in terms of what started that fire, that has not been revealed just yet. But WRAL News will, of course, press Durham Fire Department to try to get more specifics on what actually led to this.
And with the winter weather that is on the way right now, there are crews working to make sure the roads are safe and the power stays on. We have team coverage for you this morning to get you ready for this latest blast of winter weather. We will start with WRAL's Kelsey Coffey with road conditions. The crews are out there already getting ahead of this winter storm. Kelsey.
Yes, Jeff, dozens of brine trucks are just still sitting here in the NCDOT maintenance yard this morning. NCDOT crews are working overtime to prepare for this winter weather. We'll show you some video now when our cameras were there as the first brining trucks went out on the road on Sunday. Doug McNeil with NCDOT says they are putting 200,000 or 300,000 gallons of brine down before the storm moves in. Their crews have been keeping an eye on the forecast, preparing for a mix of snow, sleet, and freezing rain across multiple counties. They're focusing on brining the areas that freeze first, like bridges and interstates. Now, NCDOT is preparing for a large response in all of those counties near the Virginia line. McNeil says that they're expecting to see the most accumulation in that area than they've seen in the past 8 or 9 years. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And energy crews are preparing for the possibility of power outages during the storm. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live from Duke Energy headquarters in downtown Raleigh. And Laura, workers say they are ready for anything this storm brings, including the possibility of ice.
They are on standby right now. Good morning, Michelle. Duke Energy has tens of thousands of line and tree crews ready to respond to this winter blast. But the major problem right now with this winter storm that it's pretty hard to predict where they could see those widespread outages. Spokesperson Jeff Brooks says that there's 2 key factors in all of this: precipitation type and accumulation. That will determine how crews respond. Heavy snow can weigh down tree limbs and bring them down onto power lines, while even a small amount of ice can cause some similar damage. As conditions evolve, power crews will assess the hardest hit areas and deploy additional resources as needed to restore service.
It's going to take typically about 6 inches or more of wet snow before we see any tree limbs coming down, potentially on power lines. But if it were to be ice, it's only about a quarter of an inch or more.
He also says that the improvements to their self-healing technology should lessen the impacts and effects of those power outages in our area. Also, it's really important to download that Duke Energy app on your phone. That way you can see power outages in real time when they pop up, as well as report them more effectively. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And this morning, Governor Josh Stein will give an update on preparations for this week's winter weather. He'll hold an emergency briefing at 11:15 at the Emergency Operations Center in Raleigh. Other emergency management officials will join him. You can watch it live on WRAL.com. And stick with WRAL all day for updates about the storm, including the latest forecast from our team of meteorologists. Watch our evening news from 4 until 7:30.
Dozens of flights in and out of Toronto's airport are delayed or canceled this morning because of this. This plane crash left that plane flipped over on its roof, as you see right there, right on the runway. 18 people were hurt in the crash. Amazingly, no one was killed. The Delta flight from Minneapolis crashed as it landed yesterday afternoon. The crash sheared off the plane's wings and its tail. 76 passengers and 4 crew members were on board. Investigators from both the U.S. and Canada are working to learn what caused the crash. Analysts say high winds in that area at the time could have played a role. They also say safety features, including wings that break away when they make contact with the ground, helped to save everyone's life.
And back here at home, covering Durham, Mayor Leonardo Williams will present his second State of the City address tonight. The address is happening at the Carolina Theater at 7 p.m. Williams says that he'll talk about his priorities for the city in 2025. The event is free and open to the public, and you can also watch it on the city's YouTube channel.
A major road in Sampson County is back open this morning after a crash led to a hazmat cleanup. You see it here. It happened on NC 24 between Sampson Community College and Bass Lake Road near Clinton. Authorities say a tractor trailer carrying meat products from Smithfield Foods crashed and caught on fire. Fuel leaked from that truck onto the road. The driver has minor injuries.
Today, Raleigh City Council will get an update on how the 2-hour free parking pilot program is working downtown. They'll also talk about the progress of Dix Park's 10-year implementation plan. City Council meets at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
NC State is testing its campus-wide Wolf Alert active threat system today. The school says the drill should last no more than 15 minutes. An all-clear announcement will be made. Notifications will be sent through all Wolf Alert system methods, including sirens, the on-campus app, text messaging, email, social media accounts, and more.
President Donald Trump and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer will meet next week in Washington. Starmer and other European leaders held an emergency summit in Paris yesterday. They're concerned that President Trump's push to work with Russia to end the war in Ukraine has left Europe isolated. Starmer has said he is willing to put British troops on the ground in Ukraine to enforce a peace deal if necessary.
Protesters gathered in Raleigh and other cities across the nation on President's Day to challenge the Trump administration. The demonstrations were part of the 50-51 movement that stands for 50 states, 50 protests, one day. It has gained momentum in response to the series of executive actions President Trump has signed since his return to the White House.
Time now 6:09. Police chase protocol. Answers from Apex's new chief about the decision-making process after a pursuit ended in a crash.
And a car falls from above. The crash from an overpass that had interstate drivers slamming on the brakes.
And of course, in the Weather Center, we're tracking this winter storm. I'll show you how much precipitation, what type, and what time it arrives coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:12 this morning. We're going to see a beautiful sunrise, just beginning to see a little hint of daylight. It's a cold start. Temperatures are near freezing, 31 in Wilson right now, 33 in Durham. You can just barely see a little daylight there as we look past the DPAC. It's 29 right now in Fayetteville, also with mainly clear skies. Town by town, 28 in Tarboro, 29 in Fayetteville, 27 in Irwin, 31 in Rocky Mount. So most of us are in the upper 20s to low 30s right now. At lunchtime, 45. We'll see a high of 51 as the kids are getting off the bus. You know, they may just need a lighter jacket, but it's cold enough definitely for those winter coats this morning. Our temperatures do drop down below freezing. We'll be in the upper 20s overnight. The precipitation begins during the morning hours tomorrow. I'll show you what time you could see the wintry weather coming up. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, just in the last 30 seconds, Raleigh police cleared a tractor-trailer crash on I-540. It happened right there near Six Forks Road. And even though the crash was happening in the last hour, so it was not causing any delays whatsoever in terms of any slowdowns. Elsewhere, all the major routes really are delay-free, so we're having a relatively quiet start compared to what we will be seeing in the next 24 to 48 hours. Michelle?
All right, thank you, Ken. And Apex's police chief is responding to questions about a chase that ended with a crash into oncoming traffic. The chase started after an armed robbery on Saturday at the Beaver Creek Commons Shopping Center. It ended when the driver went into oncoming traffic on US 64 and slammed into another car. We also asked new Apex Police Chief Ryan Johansson about the department's chase policy.
What we want to stay away from is chasing cars with the only hope being that eventually they're going to crash and we're going to catch them. We have to have other mitigating measures like the use of spike strips and other techniques that can help us to get out ahead of those crashes and resolve pursuits amicably.
And police are still looking for one of the people they say was involved in the armed robbery and chase. 2 others are in custody.
One person is dead, another is in critical condition after a shooting outside a Virginia grocery store. The suspected shooter is also dead after being shot by a bystander. The shooting happened at a Harris Teeter about 15 miles west of Charlottesville. Police say a person started shooting in the parking lot, hitting 2 people. They say another person who was leaving the grocery store saw what was happening and pulled out a weapon and shot that gunman. Police say they are investigating the relationship between the victims and the suspected shooter.
And a driver in California is in critical condition after they went off an overpass and fell onto the highway below. And this was all caught on camera. Take a look. A driver's dash cam got video of the crash. Wow, this happened near Sacramento. Police say the car crashed through trees and fell right onto Interstate 5. All of the drivers on that highway were able to avoid that falling car. Police are investigating what may have caused that crash.
Mexico is threatening to sue Google over the change to Gulf of America on its maps. Mexico's president says she wants Google to fully restore the name Gulf of Mexico on Google Maps. She says Google sent her a letter telling her it will not change its policy. Google says international treaties don't dictate how private map services name geographic areas. Mexico says the change to Gulf of America violates its sovereignty because Mexico has more jurisdiction over the Gulf than the U.S. does. At least one person is dead. Several others are missing after a storm caused major flooding in West Virginia over the weekend. People are being asked to stay away from any flooded roads as crews work to get them back open.
An East Carolina University track and field athlete is grateful to be alive after being clinically dead for 10 minutes. Haley Yentz was training with her team last week when she collapsed and went into cardiac arrest. Her coach and trainers performed CPR and used an AED to restart her heart. She was rushed to the hospital and later diagnosed with a rare genetic heart condition. That has forced her to stop all physical activities that would further strain her heart. A devastating blow for a lifelong athlete, but Yentz says she has so much to be thankful for.
I'm just grateful that I was in the right place at the right time with people who knew what to do, because if it wasn't for them and I wasn't in that place, I don't think I would be here today.
She is so lucky. She is still recovering. She now lives with a pacemaker and the defibrillator. Oh my goodness, I cannot say that word. She says she's focused on raising awareness and also embracing her second chance at life.
She was dead for 10 minutes.
Yes.
That'll change your perspective
Yes.
for certain. Oh, it's a beautiful look at a sunrise coming up behind us. And actually, we'll have a quiet day before things get a little crazy tomorrow, Elizabeth.
It may be a little crazy out of the grocery store today, but there is plenty of time between now and tomorrow morning to collect whatever you need. I would plan to stay put on Wednesday and potentially even at least the first half of Thursday. We're likely to continue to see some snow falling on Thursday. Friday, we should begin to see a little bit of melting. This morning, Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill, all clear. It's going to be a really pretty sunrise as it starts to come up. Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. Let's jump on in and take a look at what is new this morning. We continue to watch the placement of what we call the warm nose. And that's just, we have a whole column of cold air. And eventually we have warm air that's going to insert itself in the middle. We call that the warm nose. Where the warm nose is where we start to see sleet and freezing rain. The wintry precipitation moves in around 9 to 10 a.m. in our western and central counties. And some of the moisture is starting to shift north and east on some of the models. So some of the heavier snow or sleet and that sort of precipitation could end up in our north and eastern counties. Again, just watching some of the trends on the models. This is a look at where the snow is right now to our north and west. Here's Futurecast starting tomorrow at 4 a.m. We'll pause it there at 10 a.m. What I really want to stress to people, I've been here for a pretty long time. Oftentimes when the snow doesn't start overnight and it's dry at say 7 to 8 o'clock, people want to get out and go to work and try to work for a few hours. And then once they see the snow falling, they try to get on the roads and head back home. And that's when everything just collapses into chaos, literally. So don't do that. Just stay home. It's going to continue. The pink shaded area is going to be where our wintry mix is, and the snow, of course, in the blue. Changing back over Wednesday night to all snow and more snow continuing into Thursday morning. So on top of that, let's take a look at how the wintry precipitation develops across our area. Between 8 and 9, it's a 30% chance. Between 11 and noon, that chance goes up to 100%. This is a look at our snowfall forecast. In the north, as much as 4 to 6, and then Sanford, Lillington, Smithfield, less than an inch. And so we're going to see a big cutoff between who sees more snow and who doesn't. And that could be right around Wake County with 2 to 4 in the north and less than an inch in the south. Now that line may fluctuate in reality a little bit. We're likely to see a better chance of freezing rain in our southeastern counties. That's where we could have the potential for some power outages. Smithfield, Irwin, Lillington, Benson, Goldsboro. Be prepared for power outages there. Today, 51. Tomorrow's high, 33. Again, Thursday, we're still dealing with the potential for some snow in the morning. Friday, we're back to sunshine, and we should begin to see some melting coming up. We're going to talk in a little bit more detail about how things are looking in the roads, when the roads really may start to get slick, Ken. It's going to be a mess tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely, because it's going to look a lot different. Thanks, Elizabeth. Hey, let's start outside, give you a live look at I-40 and NC 54, Highway 54, flowing nicely in both directions, even though traffic has picked up quite a bit. In terms of the other major routes in and out of the capital city, here's what we're looking at. You're just looking at a 2-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest. Over in the Bull City, similarly, all the major routes are delay-free, all the major routes, zeros running wilds, so nothing to worry about. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. We'll keep you updated.
All right, thank you, Ken. The leader of a cult-like group with local ties is due in court today. The charges members of the Zizians are facing, including in connection with the death of a U.S. Border Patrol agent.
How about this bobcat attack? What a local man says he did to protect himself from the wild animal's bites.
And as we head to break, here are your winning lottery numbers. Good luck.
What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Shakira's health scare only kept her off the stage for one night.
Ken Smith here now with What's Trending on our Tuesday, Ken.
Yeah, check out this video posted to social media showing Shakira performing in Peru last night. She had to cancel the show Sunday night after she was rushed to the hospital for abdominal pain. But as you can see, she was right back at it 24 hours later.
Tough cookie right there. Back at, she said she didn't want to wait any longer than she had to get back on stage. So 24 hours later, she played her show from Monday night on schedule. Now she wants to make up the Sunday night show that she missed because of that. So she wants to do that as soon as possible as well.
And look at her. I mean, she's moving and grooving. She's, she's not just standing there singing. It's a show.
No abdominal troubles.
The show must go on.
Yeah.
Listen, Matt Damon's new movie trending this morning. We're getting a first look at the upcoming epic, The Odyssey. Universal Pictures sharing a photo of Damon on set in military armor. The movie won't come out, though, until July of next year. That's next summer.
Yeah, next summer. People are going to have to wait. But this has a star-studded lineup. Anne Hathaway, Charlize Theron, Zendaya. So there's going to be a lot of popular faces in this film. But it's huge for Matt Damon. That's a big role.
100%. It's going to be fantastic as long as we can hold out.
Till next summer.
Wait till next summer. Ken, thanks. Today, the future home of Wilson Warbirds minor league baseball team celebrates a milestone. The crew building the Wilson Sports and Entertainment Complex will hold its topping out ceremony today. That means it will install the steel right at the highest point of the stadium. The ceremony starts at 11 o'clock this morning.
And the Wake County Sheriff's Office is celebrating a successful fundraiser. It has raised more than $2,000 for the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics North Carolina. The fundraiser was hosted at Angie's Restaurant, where attendees got to enjoy a Valentine's Day meal. Well, crews are working right now to make sure that you are safe during the winter storm that's on the way. The efforts they're putting in now to get ready.
And you want to see where the snow is now? Look at that, just to our north and west. Moving into Kentucky in some spots. I'll show you how much snow or sleet and freezing rain you could see and what time it starts.
And as the storm makes its way across the U.S. toward us right now, this is a live look. This is Kansas City right now. It is 1 degree outside in Kansas City right now. Folks there are getting ready for the possibility of more than 8 inches of snow today. And it's on its way here.